In Warlord, there are 7 factions. In this video, I'll break down each of them for newcomers. Each faction also has a subrace that has a strong presence and is largely exclusive to each faction, with a few exceptions. The first faction is Deverinians. The best way to describe them is high humans with slightly longer lifespans than average humans. They're evil, with a hierarchical church devoted to worshipping the Storm, a mystical force of power and destruction throughout the world. Their primary subrace is Stormwraiths, the undead remnants of those devoured by the Storm. The name Ged on many of them refers to a type of sainthood bestowed on them by the Church of the Storm. The next faction is Dwarves. Dwarves in Warlord are pretty standard to just the generic fantasy dwarf. As they usually do, they have grand kingdoms of stone underneath the earth. Their main subrace is Gargoyles, essentially stone golems and earth elementals. These hulking brutes aid the dwarves in the defense of their kingdoms. Elves in Warlord, unlike in most other fantasy genres, are evil and have short lives. They do still live in forests, but their short lifespan has led them to pursue necromancy for the sake of extending it in undeath. As you probably guessed, this means their subrace is undead. Not much explanation beyond that, just zombies, skeletons, and other creatures of flesh and bone. Next up are the Free Kingdoms. They're groups and cities of usually good humans, as opposed to the Deverinians usually being evil. Their subrace is lycanthropes, werewolves, werebears, and the like. Mercenaries are not aligned with any specific faction other than, well, mercenaries. Oftentimes, this is due to them being mindless monsters, all-powerful dragons, hired combatants, or unaligned cities. That's the reason they can be played in any deck, regardless of faction, without a loyalty penalty. Their main subrace is monsters. This is a generalized term that can refer to the lizard-like Sutek, demonic humanoids in the abyssals, or many other things. The nothrog are encampments of goblins, orcs, and trolls. Most of what they do is wage war, aided by their primary subrace, the Siege. These are catapults, ballistas, battering rams, and other inventive engines of destruction. The final race is the Chosen. They're an evil race of demon worshippers. They're unique in the fact that they have 2 subraces, daemons and thralls. They use the thralls as slaves and farmers until they need them to sacrifice them to summon the daemons. They're a newer faction, so they don't have as much support as the other 6 in terms of number of cards and warlords. I hope this video was able to give a basic understanding of the factions in Warlord and maybe help you decide what type of deck to build. If you're new to the game, be sure to check out my other Learn to Play videos on my channel. Thanks a lot for watching.